Hey guys, my name's Sam. I'm the youth minister at St Michael's Church in Stoke Gifford, and it's my pleasure to come and chat with you today. I've said I'm Sam. I am a follower of Jesus. I am a husband. I am a dad to Micah, who's only 5 weeks old. He's very cute, and that's kind of me. I want to chat with you today about sharing your faith. So my first question to you guys is, how do you show people what your interests are? So that could be what do you wear? How do you kind of do life? What kind of things do you decorate your house and your room with? What do you share on social media? How do you talk about stuff with friends when they ask you, oh, what did you do last night? I'm a massive Star Wars fan. And for me, I live and breathe it. I watch it all the time. I like to chat about it. I don't bring it up at every situation because that would be weird. But I do love to talk about it. I love to get to people and chatting about it. And in some ways, a lot of what sharing our faith is very similar to that. Sharing our faith should be just like we bring it into situations in the same way that we bring our interests and what we do with our time. In the same way that it should be have an overflow of what we enjoy and what we love, what our interests are. Actually, if our interests are to spend time with God, then actually that's going to naturally come out in conversation with people. One of the verses that talks about this and what we're called to do and be as Christians is the Great Commission in Matthew 28, verse 16 to 20. I'm going to read it from the Message version because I think it really summarises it quite well. Jesus, undeterred, went right ahead and gave his charge. God authorised and commanded me to commission you. Go out, train everyone you meet, far and near, in this way of life, marking them with baptism in a threefold name, Father, Son and Holy Spirit. Then instruct them to practice all I have commanded you, and I will be with you as you do this, day after day, right up till the end of the age. So I love this passage because it talks about not only just sharing our faith, but also what we're called to do and how we're called to do it. So the first bit, go out. It means that we can't actually do it in our room on our own. We need to do it with people. Unless you're on the internet, in which case Zoom is a very good way to share faith and do life with people at the moment. The second bit is train everyone you meet. So how do you train somebody? Well, you show them, don't you? You explain to them, you teach them, you tell them stories of how it's changed your life. And that's the key. Your story and your walk with God and your faith is the most powerful tool in your toolkit for sharing your faith. It's how God's moved with you. Nobody can doubt or question something that you've experienced personally. So next time you're chatting with friends and they're something about what you did last night comes up, and you know that last night you were in a youth group and we prayed for people and then suddenly somebody was healed. Actually sharing your faith is actually bringing that story into your friendships. Sharing your story can be as simple as just sharing how God's moved in your life. What is it about being in a relationship with God that excites you? Why are you a Christian? That's what we're trying to get at. So what is your story? What is the story that you have to share with people? What is it that makes you get up in the morning and be like, you know what, yeah, I'm a Christian. I've seen this, this and this, and this is why I'm a Christian. For me, it's I've lived an experience that I just can't explain. I went to Soul Survivor a few years back, and was I've just seen amazing miracles of people being healed. I was praying for a young lad who he had really bad back pain from sleeping on the floor because his air mat had gone down overnight, and prayed for his back and it was healed, and he was just completely like, what? what's going on? Oh my goodness, I've been healed and it doesn't hurt anymore, and it did hurt a minute ago. Stories like that are the bits that are the exciting about what it is to follow Jesus. In pandemic, actually, one of the things that you can share with friends is actually that you know that there's hope. It's something which is in short supply at the moment. But actually, as Christians, we're called and we know that we have hope in Jesus. And actually, the way that we communicate that and talk about that with our friends really makes an impact and a difference. Now, what I want to first say is that this sharing your faith is hard. I find it hard. I know loads of other people that do. But actually, I've got some top tips for you on how to make it just that little bit easier. So my top tips. Number 1, make it natural. Don't try and shoehorn it into conversations and be like, do you know about Jesus? Because that's a bit weird. Make it natural. How do you talk to your friends? Actually, when you're talking about Jesus to your friends, don't change how you'd normally talk to them, because actually that will make an impact. But actually speak to them as if you are sharing about an interest, in the same way that kind of that first question that I asked you guys. Second one, pray. It's really, really simple and it seems really obvious, but actually it makes a huge difference. Actually, for those people that you want to share your faith with, pray for them. Spend some time going, Lord, will you please meet them? Because part of sharing our faith is actually, we'll have to do it over and over again. I know very few people that have come to know Jesus through one conversation. Actually, it's through lots of repetition of going, oh yeah, you know what, I did this on that day. A few weeks later, I did this on this day. And then it builds up. And actually, it's God that meets them. Actually, we don't make them become a Christian. It's God who meets them and is like, you know what, I want a relationship with you. He comes to us. And as Christians, we can pray and actually ask God into their life. He can't do it without us giving permission for him to do it. So pray for those who you want to share your faith with. Number 4, share stories as they happen. So actually, if you had a miracle kind of happen at your youth group, or you saw something really cool, actually share it with your friends in that moment. Actually, when they ask you, oh, what did you do last night? Don't be afraid to go, well, I saw this happen. And number 4, and probably the most important one, is don't be afraid. In the Great Commission it says that Jesus will be with us to the day after day. And he will to the end of the age. He's not going to leave us. Actually, when you're sharing your faith, you can just send a little prayer up and go, Lord, please help me to say the right words. It can be that simple. So, they're my 4 top tips. Make it natural. Don't be weird. That's kind of a 1.5. Pray. Share the stories as they happen. And don't be afraid. God's with you and he's going to always be with you. And in the same way that he gave the words to Moses, who was really scared, he can give us the words that we need to say. You guys have been awesome, and I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but I hope this has been helpful, and I've sent some questions as well. So, see you guys around. Bye.